Hey everybody, this is Geneva of Geneva's Closet Talk Show. How are you doing this fabulous Tuesday morning? First, I would like to say hey to all of my subscribers, closet seekers, ladies in blue, and people that will sit there and never not once say anything. That's all right, people. That is quite all right. We don't have to say anything if you don't want to. But please make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to Geneva's Closet right here on YouTube if you haven't already done so. And feel free at any time, right there you go. You can email me at Geneva's Closet with two T's 22 at gmail.com. And you can also follow me on Facebook at Geneva's Closet because most of the time, people, that's where I'm at. So now let's get into the news. Today we're talking about this whole Malia Davis case. I guess there's a few things now that it has, since they told us that they found her body in Arkansas. They said we just needed confirmation that it was really her. And I got this from ABC News. It says recovered remains confirmed to be missing 4-year-old girl. Remains found in Arkansas are confirmed to belong to 4-year-old Malia Davis, a Houston girl who had been missing for 1 month. Officials with the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences said Monday the cause and manner of her death are pending. Community activist Cornell X said Maleah's mother, ex-fiance DERION VENCE, confessed to dumping the 4-year-old's body in Arkansas. Houston detectives then rushed to Arkansas, where remains were found in a garbage bag on Friday. The body could not be immediately identified pending an autopsy. VENCE, who was caring for Maleah while her mother was away, had told police that the little girl was abducted by 3 men, including one who knocked him out during the carjacking. But yeah, we knew that wasn't true. And it says VENCE was arrested on May 11th and charged with tampering with evidence. We are saddened by the confirmation of the identification of the remains. However, we are heartened by the fact this sweet child can now receive the proper burial she deserved. The chief vowed that police and prosecutors will work to ensure the persons responsible for her death and the attempted cover-up of her death are held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. There's a few things when talking about this case after they said that they had found a 4-year-old's body in Arkansas. I said, well, I guess the only things that we're waiting for at this point is 1, for them to confirm it's actually Maleah. 2, we're waiting for the murder charges to be brought up against DERION VENCE. And 3, we are waiting to hear what is going to happen to Brittany Bowens, because we all feel like some charges or something is going to be brought up against her. So we got the first one down. I guess there's 2 more left to go. So now I want to mention something else, because I had some people, not a whole lot of people, but people, asked me to check out, don't you remember when DERION VENCE's father did that interview? What is his name? Is his name Joe Vence? Something like that. Did that interview. A few people wanted me to check the interview out and see what I thought of it. And before I had watched the interview, I remember telling you all that I wasn't interested in watching it because I really didn't see what he was going to say. Like, what was he going to say? And, which I was like, Geneva, we want you to watch it. So I watched it. And then when I gave my opinion of it, I still didn't have a whole lot to say. I didn't even know what was the purpose of me watching it. And it had nothing to do with the interview itself. Interview's an interview. It had everything to do with, I didn't even know what his father was going to say besides take up for his son. He didn't do it. He was a good guy. He did everything. He took care of everything. He loved Maleah. Brittany didn't do anything. So I expected him to say that, for him to take up for his son. So now I will be interested in hearing what the father got to say after you said that your son didn't have anything to do with it and he was a good guy and he loved Maleah more than Brittany did and he did everything and he took care of it and fed it and abandoned and all of these things. Now I would like to hear what he has to say now. Now what do you think of this? Now how y'all gonna flip it? You're gonna flip it and say that Cornell X should not have been in there questioning him? So what? DERION was scared, so he just started saying things that wasn't true. I don't know how Darion's attorney is going to flip this whole thing. I don't know how the family is going to flip the whole thing. Matter of fact, I'm now interested in hearing from Brittany's family, like her sister and stuff. You know, because certain people have certain things to say about Cornell X, the activist, community activist Cornell X. That this case was all about him and he was trying to, you know, get popularity from the case. Obviously not, based on my opinion. Anyway, shout out to all these subscribers who sent me information and said to the specific subscriber who sent me the link to this video and said, Geneva, you need to check this out. So I checked it out and I said, I want the people to see this. I think the people need to see this. Now, this is an interview that was done with Cornell X, and based on the interview, it was done after Cornell X had his interview, went and talked to VENCE in jail. So it was after that, but before they found Maleah's remains in Arkansas. So I guess this is the point. Wait, is it? Had they found, or had they not confirmed it yet? I don't even know. Y'all look at it and check it out for yourselves and tell me what you think about this interview where Cornell X is going to speak about what exactly happened. You know, for the most part, what he can say. I'm sorry. What exactly happened when he went and spoke to VENCE?
Comment to you. You go in and you talk to these suspects. What approach do you take, and how do you get confessions out of these guys?
You know, to be honest with you, it is something that I learned within the Nation of Islam. I have to be very honest. When I was a spokesman for the Nation of Islam, there were certain techniques that we was always taught called the proper handling of people. And out of the manual, the proper handling of people is different techniques and how to deal with people in confrontational situations, agitated situations, and even when they're angry, how to handle them to where they will diffuse and lower their arms and won't be agitated with you. It is something I learned within the Nation of Islam.
Interesting there. So in this local case with your newest hit, I'll call it, how did you approach VENCE?
We sat down as two men, and I explained to him what I believed about the case. I explained to him what I thought about him before I ever let him speak. I was very straightforward with him about what I thought about him, what I thought about Brittany, what I thought about the home that they both shared and lived in, and what I believed was wrong on everybody's part. And I told him to be honest with me, and that I would always be straightforward and direct with him. And I could tell by his demeanor and his disposition, a cocky dude. When I say cocky, I don't mean physically, but as far as his attitude and mindset, kind of cocky. Didn't show any remorse, any. And he was very concerned about how he looks in the public.
When you say how he looks to the public, what was he? Well, first of all, let's go back. What was the first thing out of Vince's mouth after you did your spill?
I really can't go into all of that because that's going to be another arena.
When you say he cares about his own image in the public, what gives you that? What did he say to lean towards that?
Early on in our investigation, we learned certain things I was able to share with him. He had a mistress, and we were able to locate this mistress, and she shared with us aspects of their relationship, and that he had desires of leaving Brittany to be with her. And so I was like, well, can you show me proof? And she provided the proof. And so when I brought this up to him, he was shocked I knew this information. He asked me, how did I find this out? I told him how we found out. And he was relieved to know that the woman we did speak with, the mistress, was concerned about his well-being. And I began to share things with him, and he confirmed those things. And then that's when he opened up and began to share his side of what he felt was misrepresentation in the public. He felt that people needed to know that he took care of the kids 90% of the time. Brittany was not there. He says he had many arguments with Brittany because he felt that she was not fit as a mother, because she was not assisting him and helping him in raising the children. He felt overwhelmed with his responsibility to Maleah in particular, because she had doctor's visits she had to go to. She had medical needs that she needed. She needed extensive care in developmental issues also. and he felt that he was a primary parent in the home that was providing those resources to her and not Brittany. So he was angry that Brittany was not helping him in that aspect.
Did he ever say Maleah's name? Never said her name.
Never said Maleah's name at all, not one time.
And I understand he did say it was an accident. Talk
Yes.
about what were his words? What did he say?
Well, I told him, I said, brother, I don't want to see you as a cold-blooded killer. I said, but people see you as a cold-blooded killer. I said, man, who are you? What really are you? I said, man, tell me the truth. What happened here? And then that's when he told me it was an accident and explained to me why he believed it was an accident that I don't want to go into right now, that I'll leave that for the district attorney's office.
Can you allude to something as to why? We have a 4-year-old girl missing, and then you have a guy who's a suspect who's giving information over the body and is saying, "Oh, it was an accident."
He was angry with Brittany, and he was very agitated with Brittany about her discovering him sending these pictures of his private parts to another man, and she calling him gay and saying she was giving the ring back to him. That drove him over the edge.
So maybe.
And remember, there was already physical abuse by him against Maleah in the home.
So are you concluding to what he told you, that this may have been in retaliation?
Yes. Yes, but I don't think it was the first time, because of what we learned in this investigation, in this case. Brittany knew all about the physical abuse and helped cover it up. And so this was a pattern for him.
Cornell, when you say accident, how do you think Malia died?
DERION snapped, and I believe he punched that child in the head. Because that's what he had done before.
Did he admit to doing that before?
The mother admitted to me that he had did it before.
Just punched the little girl in the head?
Yes. And he had beaten her before. And I think that he was so angry with Brittany about discovering this information about him and his sexuality and his sexual pictures. And then on top of that, she's saying she's not going to be with him anymore. She's leaving him. Then on top of that, he already feels overwhelmed with his responsibility to Maleah. It would all just roll him over the edge, and he snapped.
Wow. How did you get to Arkansas? How did you get that part?
We talked a little longer, and I want him to be honest with me. And I iterated 3 times in a row before I allowed him to tell me what he did with the body and where it was. I stopped him and said, look, let's stop right here. Let's be straight with each other, man to man. And I explained to him that I'm a Muslim. This is the holy month of Ramadan. I'm not going to lie to you, so please don't lie to me. Let's be straight with each other. Where's Maleah? Where's the body? What happened? And that's what he told me.
What was his response?
It was an accident, and that he dumped her body in Hope, Arkansas, on the side of the road, and I asked him to explain to me how he did it.
You care to share that?
No.
Why Arkansas? Why Hope? Does he have
I have
ties
no
there?
clue. I never asked him that. Never asked him that.
It seems a little.
That's a good question, though. Why
you could
Arkansas?
think out of all places, Arkansas. I mean, and on the map, it's 5.5 to 6 hours away. Roughly 14 hours there and back. Did you immediately believe his story?
I did, because I could see in his face he was being straight with me. I could see in his face he wasn't lying to me.
So they have searchers going out now. Police are going out now. Do you believe they'll find Maleah out there in Hope?
I'm hoping that they do, but we also learned after he told me that they had been highway workers, or what you call them, highway workers, highway clean men, had been cleaning that whole area for up to a week now.
DERION told you this?
No, that's what we were told from authorities in Arkansas, that they had been cleaning that whole area for a week, and that he did dump her in a garbage bag. She was in a garbage bag when he dumped her.
Maleah was in a
Yes.
garbage bag.
Yeah.
Did he? So she's in the garbage bag. Does he describe what he does with the garbage bag? Does he put it in the car and then just gets on the road?
She was put in the trunk, and he drove.
Did he talk about how he felt in that moment?
No, no.
Any other information that that you could think of as to in your conversation as to why Hope, Arkansas? Did he say he just got on the road and just, or was this a plan, or did he look at a map, or did he say, did he time it?
Based on the way he said it, and he said it with such certainty, I think he knows someone there. I think he has a history with somebody in Hope, Arkansas, because he seemed specifically very precise where it was and what he did.
When you said precise, you say Hope, Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, it was clear. It was clear. It was detailed about when he took the exit, when he stopped the vehicle, where he stopped the vehicle, and what he did. It was clear. And I was like, "Are you sure it wasn't further down this way? Are you sure that you're not getting your markers?" He said, "No, I'm sure that's what." In fact, he said to me, "No, this is what I did. This is where it was."
He was just too precise.
He was to the point. To be true. He was to the point. It wasn't like he was guessing.
When you look at this case and all the other cases, and you do a good job in getting this stuff out of these guys, do you sort of feel like this is sort of like a calling to you, because this may be the biggest break, in this case, and what could possibly lead us to this little girl? How did you even get into the jail? Did you say, did you just show up, or did you say, hey, can we talk? Apparently he had some trust to come out there and talk to you.
Well, one thing I'm not going to do is share all my methods and techniques. Can't do that.
I understand.
But I hate these kind of cases. When I was first asked to come on to this case, I didn't want to. In fact, I wrestled with the idea of getting involved with this, because I have been involved with these kind of cases before with young baby Kendrick, the young brother in Southwest Houston, a little 3-year-old who went to visit his daddy, and his daddy concocted a lie about the kid coming up missing, when in actuality he had killed the baby. And I had dealt with that case, in dealing with him. Then the Randy Sylvester case, when he lied and said somebody kidnapped his kids, and yet he had killed them and burned them alive.
Do you think Brittany knew or had anything to do with what happened to Maleah?
I don't think she knew anything about where he dumped the body. I don't think she knew at all about where he dumped the body.
Do you think she knew that he had done something to her daughter?
No doubt. No doubt. She knew that he had done something to that baby because of his history with the baby. It didn't take rocket science. She helped cover up abuse, physical abuse, on multiple occasions. And so she knew exactly what he was capable of and what he would do and how he would cover it up, because she helped him cover it up.
Cornell, what did he end with by saying to you? What was the last things you all spoke about?
I told him, I said, I'll speak to investigators. And if they need you to ride along with them, would you be willing to do that? He said that he would. And that was our last words.
Did he speak about how he's doing there in jail? I know at one point he was. What did he say?
He said that he's been getting threats. He's been getting threats from other inmates, which I totally understand. I mean, that's a code among inmates and convicts. You commit a crime against children, you're marked in a lockdown facility. He said that the guards were very respectful, and that the guards were nice to him, that the guards did not abuse him, they were not threatening or intimidating to him, that they were not denying him food, because there was a rumor that he was being denied food. And what he said was, no, he was on a hunger strike, so he wasn't eating the food. He said, but now he is eating the food, and at no time did the deputies or guards ever mistreat him.
Anything else, Cornell, that you want to talk about? This is good work that you're able to do in getting this stuff. But
you know what's funny? A lot of people seem to think that I'll get Crime Stoppers money, and foolishly, people say things like that. But it is a written policy in Crime Stoppers that activists do not get paid by Crime Stoppers. It's been a standing policy for over 20 years. I've never been given a penny from Crime Stoppers, no matter how high that ward would ever get. If it got up to 50 million, I couldn't get it.
And because of that, some may say, so why? Why do you do this?
Man, I'm going to tell you something. Some things you were born to do. Some things you just know you were born to do. And I have a deep, deep love for black people, brother.
Come on now.
And it hurts me to see what we do to one another. It hurts me to see how quick we are to bring hurt and shame and anger, frustration and pain to each other. It hurts me that when we kill each other, it's like nobody really cares anymore. It's like it's normal. And I have a deep love to see better for my community. I really do. I didn't plan to do this kind of work. I had no plan, no desire to do this kind of work. But the Spirit just led me to do it. And I've been very successful at doing it. By God's grace, I've turned in now over 56 murder suspects. 52 to HPD and 4 to the Harris County Sheriff's Department. I've turned in 52 men and women charged with homicide that they could not find. They couldn't find.
Okay.
But I've turned them in.
You do that.
And I've gotten those confessions by God's grace when they couldn't get them at all.
Alrighty then, people. Alrighty then. I wanted you all to listen to that. And yeah, so what do you think of that interview? So let me say something right quick before I read this article that I just pulled up. So I haven't even read the article yet. I was glancing at it a little bit while the video was playing. The black bag that was in the clothes hamper that he was taking out. So Maleah was in that black bag. Because I remember a lot of y'all were sending me stuff. And I seen videos even being made with y'all zooming in on a black bag talking about that you seen a face or something, whatever. Wow, she was actually in the black bag. And who just carries a body just in the hamper, in the bag, all up? I'm telling you, the things that people do see in your mind, you like, I can't even conceive of doing something like that. But in someone else's mind, it just lets you know the evil spirits that are walking around on this earth, what people are capable of doing. And then the videos of DERION talking with Maleah, and they playing in the car and they singing in the car and they at the beach and all of that stuff. Even all the, he was a good guy and he loved me. That don't mean nothing. All the love you have for her, all the taking care of her, making sure she had her medicine, taking her a bath and feeding her, that don't mean nothing. Because at the end of the day, you done killed the girl. You done killed her. So you was taking care of her, feeding her, making sure she was all right, and then punching her in the head when you got mad with her? So what? He was feeding her, like, what the, okay? All right. So she was in that black bag the whole time? I had something else. I don't even know where I put it. But anyway, let's just go. Wait a minute. It remains confirmed. Cornell X jailhouse. DERION took care of the kids 90% of the time. DERION took care of the kids 90% of the time. That's what it is. Okay. And he still killed them. So we all know that just because someone claims to love your child and they playing with them and taking care of them 90% of the time, they can still kill them, because obviously that doesn't mean anything. I just saying this. It says, this is coming from Houston Chronicle. When was it? Says June 4th. It says on the flight back to Houston. Wait a minute. Let me put this up again. I wish I had the picture with just Maleah. Do I have a picture of just Maleah? Do I have a picture with just Maleah? Because that's really what I wanted. Nope, I don't know if I have one with just Maleah. But anyway, that's okay. Let's just go with this. On the flight back to Houston, the police investigators sat in silence beside an ice cooler from a nearby Walmart in Arkansas. Once empty, it now carried the remains of a little girl whom they believed to be Malia Davis. The investigators wouldn't officially know the remains were of the missing 4-year-old until they received results from an autopsy, but they were almost certain. While gathering human remains scattered along Interstate 30 earlier Friday night, authorities had picked up a small pink hair barrette. They had also found remains of colorful pajamas. shredded by a lawnmower that ran over the small body that had been tucked inside a garbage bag and discarded on the side of the road. Oh, mm, 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 mm. Police didn't want Maleah to return to Texas in a black bag, the same way she left the state, said Texas EquiSearch founder Tim Miller, who was on the flight with detectives. After placing the remains in one bag and reinforcing them with a second one, police covered the bags with a unicorn blanket before closing the cooler's lid. The gut feeling that the remains were of Maleah, the smiling sweetheart whose disappearance and suspected death brought sorrow to the entire city, was confirmed Monday by the medical examiner. We are all saddened by the confirmation of the identification of the remains brought home to Houston by members of the Houston Police Department as Malia Davis. Houston Police Chief Art Advecco, whatever, said in a written statement. However, we are heartened by the fact the sweet child can now receive the proper burial she deserved, and that those who knew and loved her most desired. It says the search ended on Friday. Cornell, went to the jail and got that confession. Prosecutors continue their review and are working with Houston police. Additional charges will be filed as the evidence supports doing so. We remain focused on finding the truth and delivering justice for Maleah. After VENCE reportedly confessed, Houston police investigators and Texas EquiSearch team members boarded a private plane to Hempstead County, about 330 miles northeast of Houston. A work crew mowing I-30 near Fulton, Arkansas, discovered a bloody black garbage bag last week but left it alone, assuming that its foul odor was from a discarded animal. They realized otherwise when the mower ran over the same bag on Friday. It was a terrible scene, of course, Miller said. I think there was a huge surge of relief. The cause and manner of death are still pending, and there is no timetable for when that information will be released. Miller is unsure that a cause and manner of death can ever be identified because of the condition of Maleah's body. On Friday night, her remains were brought back to Houston with HPD investigators and EquiSearch officials standing vigil on the plane. So, yeah. And don't you remember Cornell X said that he don't believe, which is the same thing that I said in my other videos, that I didn't necessarily believe that she knew that she helped him kill Maleah, or that she knew where the body and stuff was at. I don't think that she was involved in that type of way, but she knew he had done something. That's why she really didn't have nothing to say. You got anything to say about DERION? No. You got anything you want to say? No. What do you think happened? I don't know. She just cried over everything. She didn't know anything. She didn't have anything to say because she knew the whole time. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to hear what they're going to do with Miss Brittany Bowens. Aren't you all waiting for that? Yeah, people, tell me what you think. Tell me what you... it's not really even too much to think. Because we all didn't believe Brittany. We never believed DERION. Are they even going to know exactly what happened to her? Is anyone going to be honest is DERION going to be honest? And then, wait a minute. There is something that I'm missing. I know it's something that I'm missing because I read something else. I read something, and I don't even remember where I read it at. I read something where Cornell X says he believes. There it go. I found it. Here it go. I forgot to read this part. Cornell X says family member of DERION VENCE knew details of where Malia Davis' remains were. Now I was like, what family members this? Cornell X told Fox 26 who all he feels should be held accountable in the death of 4-year-old Malia Davis. The Harris County Institute of Forensic Scientists have positively identified Maleah at this point. Authorities were able to find the remains just hours after DERION VENCE, Malia Davis' mother, ex-fiance, confessed to QuanellX. During an interview with Fox 26, Jonathan Martin, the activist, said he believes DERION VENCE and Brittany Bowen should be held accountable. Yep, he did say that. I believe that DERION has to be charged with murder. He has to be charged with taking the life of a young Maleah and held absolutely accountable for that. This man has no remorse, none whatsoever. When I sat down to talk to him, I believe that Brittany has to be held accountable also. Brittany helped cover up abuse, and I think she has to look at the bigger picture. Your child lost her life because as a mother, you failed to protect that baby. But X also says there is another person that knew about where Maleah's remains were. I believe that there is one family member of DERION who I've already told them, the police, who I believe this family member is, from my conversations with that particular family member also, that he knew where the body was placed and that he helped hide DERION out from authorities so they couldn't speak to him. And I believe he knew about the whereabouts of where Maleah was, X said. X says Vince's story was questionable from the beginning. Yep. It was. I knew from the very beginning, we all did. That's why I was invested in the story. Because I was like, real bitch, 3 Hispanic men? From beginning, that the story that DERION was telling was a concocted lie. Anybody with common sense would know that no Hispanic gentleman would kidnap and beat him up, take Maleah, believe his own baby with him. Didn't make a lot of sense at all. He also commented on being called the spokesperson for Brittany Bowen, saying, I was never actually the spokesperson for the mother. I was always the spokesperson for the truth of what happened to Maleah. I never took a side in this. I always wanted to do whatever I needed to do to make sure I would find what happened to Maleah and where she was. X says he gave Bowens the benefit of the doubt until more details came out. It took me working very closely with the mother, spending a lot of time with the mother. And if I believed she was innocent about something, I would tell the world she was innocent. But when I found out there was much more to it, and that she helped cover up legitimate, real, physical, torturous abuse of her own child, I knew then at that point that at some point I was going to step away and I wasn't going to hide what I had discovered and found out. And that's exactly what he did. I think he gave her the benefit of the doubt, worked with her, realized that it was something off, and told everybody. Thank goodness he told. Because then we would have to just come up with our own conclusions. But he told that he had talked to her and she had told him certain things that wasn't quite adding up to him. Yeah, so what family member you think this is? Now, right off top, I'm thinking the brother. He already said him. So I'm thinking it was the brother. DERION VENCE's brother. Who do y'all think the family member is? Do you think it's a cousin? His daddy? Could be his daddy. All he said was him. Do you think it was the dad? Since the dad wanted to come on and do an interview to take up for his son? What do you think about that? I think it's the brother, because it was already some things said about the brother. And don't Brittany got a whole lot of calling. She called QuanellX a habitual liar. No, boo-boo, you are a habitual liar that did nothing but lie, and she didn't even have her child's side. Did not even have her own child's side. But anyway, people. Oh, and then what do you think about QuanellX has helped a lot of people. Did you hear how many people he said? He said a lot of people that he's helped. And in my last video speaking about Malia Davis, I read an article where he speaks of the Sylvester children, the 2 children that were burned alive. And he ended up getting that confession on where the kids was inside a chest of drawer or a wooden chest or something like that. But he's been doing this for a while, so he got his own ways of getting this thing handled. But once again, I want to say shout out to QuanellX, because if it wasn't for him, we would still be sitting here trying to figure out where's Maleah at, and the search would still be taking place in Texas. But this man drove all the way to Arkansas. And right, why Arkansas? So I think Cornell got a good point. He probably knows somebody there. That's why he was very specific Because if I don't know the area, then I'm probably not going to really be sure where, about it. I done put some, I think it was there. I just kind of stopped on the side of the road because it looked like it was a good place and put it, but he knew exactly. So if he knew exactly, then maybe he done been to Arkansas before, that place. He got some friends or something out there. Something else is going on. I can't wait till we get more details about this case. I really can. But anyway, people, tell me what you think. Again, please make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to Geneva's Closet right here on YouTube if you haven't already done so. And feel free to email me if there's anything you want to let me know at genevascloset22@gmail.com. And you can also go find me, people, on Facebook right there at Geneva's Closet. Please leave your comments and tell me what you think about this whole thing. Do you still have anything bad to say about Cornell X? Or no, he done did his part. How do you think the DERION attorney is going to flip this whole thing? Do you think he's going to say something about, well, he wasn't supposed to be in there speaking to him anyway? So can we get the confession thrown out? Can they get the confession thrown out? I mean, because it seemed like DERION's attorney, his other attorney, had the Burton man, had just got off the job. So had he got an attorney just that quickly? Or when Cornell X went in there, did he not have an attorney? I mean, I wonder what was that little time frame between Burton leaving and the new attorney coming in. Did he instantly get another one? So how do you think they're going to handle all that? Do you think they can throw that confession out? What do you think about that? Do you think they're going to bring charges up against Brittany? And if they do, what type of charges do you think they should bring up against her? What do you think about that? Just tell me what you think, people, because you all be having some really good things, and sometimes I don't be thinking of it, and I read your comments, and I was like, you know what? That's a good point right there. I had not thought about that. I had not. This is a sad case. It's been sad. And just like Cornell X don't want to talk about it, I don't want to talk about it. But at this point, just just trying to keep y'all up to date on what's going on. And if I find out any new information, to share it with you all. Again, make sure you like and share this video. Subscribe to Geneva's Closet. Follow me on Facebook. Leave your comments. Tell me what you think. And other than that, people, you have a fabulous rest of your day. I will talk to you later. Bye.